Welcome to Cerulean Spirit, your AI-powered indie game host. Today we're diving into Bookoora's.com's games, where you play the lead and what you read. Let's explore the fantasy game book The Cursed Stranger of Morlendar and other free educational games. Let's play! Alright, so let's look at Bookoora games. I will emphasize that most of the games are educational games for children. So nothing here for, let's say, the hard Twitch shooter or something like that, but they're a nice little game if you want to learn. So let's look at this. First, we have a tile slider. I've personally worked on my Rotem game, which was a tile puzzle game. So this is very, very familiar to me. Also, you have practice, flip, set, and mat. Okay, so from start playing. So this is interesting. I mean, you try to create words and equation with an AI opponent. So let's try it. First, let's try cope. There you go. So I heard there was a bit of DeepSeek and ChatGPT in the background for the AI opponent. So that's a nice little game. Finance Frontier. Let's try that. Start playing. You're controlling a lemonade stand, so you're setting the price and seeing how the market reacts. I mean, yeah. So that's another nice little game to learn finance for children, of course. I guess for everybody. And here you have a game which you can learn Mandarin. Mandarin Maestro. So number 10 entries. Yes.
写
Yeah, to write. I will admit that I don't know Mandarin character, so let's just try something. That's probably one character. 1 out of 25 chance. Submit. Probably wrong. That's cool. Show explanation.
写
Yeah. Yeah. Alright, so of course you're all wondering when I'm going to play their interactive book. So I'm probably gonna play it right now. You have the Cursed Stranger of Morlendar. I would say this is more for the fantasy fans, core gamers there. So let's just look at, whoops, there you go. Going back there. Agree to all terms and policy. I just want to show that Bookoora, they're coming up next year with a new project. There you go. Upcoming. So you have Neurotide Chapter 1, update August 20, 20% book discounts. So it's a cyberpunk. Look very interesting. Again, I can see that the graphics has been AI made with Midjourney and other maybe other software. So that's cool. Neurotide. Very cool. So let's go back to our book there. Agree with terms and policy.
This is what some would call an interactive storybook or an adventure game book. Unlike a traditional novel, you role-play as the hero or heroine in this story. In other words, you will have to make choices as you journey throughout the story. Some choices will bring you closer to the answers you seek, while some choices may take you farther away, perhaps beyond death. Beyond the various choices below, I have mirrored what I am sharing here into a guidebook and added them into your inventory. You can open and read this guidebook anytime by tapping on the inventory icon, which is the second icon from the top left. The guidebook will help you better understand the various features of this game. I hope you have a lovely experience with us as you venture into the perilous journey of the Cursed Stranger of Morlendar.
I will admit
More
that I am
have fun,
a
and if
kid
you
of the
wish,
80s and
come
90s,
back and try
so
again.
I used to buy at
Good
the
luck.
library some Choose Your Path book. Go to page, if you do that, go to page 42. If you do that, go to page 91. Kind of, how do I navigate?
Navigating the game is simple. As an adventurer, you progress by understanding the scenario and situation you're in, and then pick a choice or an action. Usually, it's choosing a choice button with the most appropriate response or action, or using an item that gives you a better advantage.
So I
If
do
you
have
click
stats.
or tap on the inventory icon on the top
Courage,
bar,
insight,
it's
finesse,
the
health, and
second one
experience.
from the left. With the backpack image, you'll now
Experience. So
see
there
a
is
guidebook
a
in
level
your
kind of a
inventory.
progression.
If you click on
mechanic
it,
in this.
you'll see the guidebook pages from
Kick,
1 to
headbutt,
10.
armor, and
It should give you a
fight.
fairly comprehensive overview of the various features and settings for the game. To exit the inventory.
Let's just look at what's
Throughout
this
your
week.
adventure, you will rely on various attributes, abilities, and items
Rolls
you
will be commonly
harness and
comprising
collect.
the damage you
Some
inflict.
may boost your statistics,
What about time,
others
temperature,
not
and
so
space, and so
much.
on?
You have 3 key attributes:
yeah.
courage, insight. Beyond character and combat statistics, you'll also find 6 additional
environmental
variables below the row of combat statistics. These are environmental conditions. They are time, temperature, space, visibility, movement, and magic. You can tap on each of these condition labels to understand
what do they actually mean?
In summary, they tell you what the environment conditions
okay.
are in the scene or page you're on. For example, if you're in a room, your space condition is usually indoor. If you're trekking through an icy wasteland, the temperature condition will be freezing, and that's no good when you're making an action attempt. For magic condition, it is based on the world's magic system, or attunement. You will learn more about them as you progress in the game.
I have
In
a
short,
Pathfinder
a
DM on
favorable
Fridays.
magic attunement
So for
allows
me,
you
this is a
access
very
to
interesting
spells
game.
usually reserved for more
I'll-
powerful wizards.
I'm just gonna go see what the inventory is. What is my inventory?
Inventory is a large component all by itself, where items you collect, buy, sell, and loot are managed. When you start the game, you begin by wearing a white robe. If you click on it in your inventory, you will see more details about it. In fact, if you click or tap on the image of the white robe, you'll get an expanded version of the image. This will be useful when you collect maps or letters to examine or read. Over time, you will have other options made available, depending on the type of items you carry and manage.
Let me try a
I
bunch of
would
these buttons
strongly
there.
advise that you click on the inventory title and read its description.
So let's just begin the adventure and try to improvise.
Help!
You hear a female voice echoing in the dark.
Help me, please!
She sounds desperate, her voice lost in a black void of emptiness. You are drifting in space, unable to see anything, feel any warmth in your fingers, limbs, body. Even your heartbeat is silent.
Find us, stranger.
A male voice cries out this time.
Stop them before it's too late!
You try to will yourself to move, to open your eyes and stare into the darkness. See if you can locate the sources of these voices. Who are they? Where did they come from? Who is this stranger? They seem to be in danger. You feel an affinity towards them, an affection, as if the both of you share a past, a warmth, a longing. Suddenly, the echoes of these voices disappear, and you feel a presence, a darker, menacing, and foreboding presence.
I will find you, stranger. I will find you, and I will kill everyone you love.
Your memories slowly fade. The voices all but gone. Out of nowhere, you hear your heart beating again. What are these emotions you're feeling? Anger, anguish, bitterness, hope, redemption.
Oh,
You cannot tell. You cannot remember. You.
okay, so I am in a dark place in the astral plane, probably floating around. Temperature freezing, space otherworldly, visibility blackout, movement stuck. Okay, let's go.
You wake up. You do not remember who you are or why you are here. You vaguely remember hearing voices like a dream. You try to recall the voices you've heard, but they've already faded away like wisps of smoke in your mind. You look around and find yourself in a clearing, surrounded by trees and birdsong. You feel a breeze on your skin and notice that you are wearing only a simple white robe. You have no weapons, no tools, no memories. You look at your hands, touch your face, sweep your fingers through your hair. You are definitely human. Emotionally, you feel alone and lost. You decide to explore your surroundings and hope to find some clues to your identity and your purpose. You follow the only path out of the clearing. It leads you under a cavernous arch to the edge of a cliff. You gasp as you see the view before you, a vast valley with rolling hills and green fields, and in the distance a majestic castle that shines in the sunlight. You feel a strange attraction to the castle, as if it holds the answers you seek. But how will you get there? And what dangers await you on the way? And most importantly, who are you?
Okay.
This is your adventure.
I am the
So
stranger
choose
in Morlendar.
wisely
Yeah.
and make your own destiny. You wake up.
Hope you remember. Okay. Okay, that's cool. Note that this is the bookmark, the entire game. Let's just key here. Settings. Courage and sight. I will look around, yeah. As you are about to look around, you suddenly feel a cold presence behind you. The air on your skin rises and there's a lump in your throat. You turn around to come face to face with a ghost. So who is this person? You jump back in fright at first in shock, then you slowly, your expression changes into one of disbelief, caution. Before your eyes narrow with suspicion. Something tells you that this ghost isn't here to harm you, but hard to make out any identifying feature. I swear you tremble, uncertain so what to do or say. But as the apparition hovers unthreateningly about 3 wards in front of you, you begin to relax and edge closer toward it. Be not afraid, stranger, the ethereal voice comes steady. I am neither material nor immaterial. I am here to warn you, serve you, and perhaps liberate you. You are momentarily taken back. Who are you? Why are you speaking in different voice? Where I am? Well, yeah, probably who am I?
You are one of many strangers in this land. One of many destined to influence, adapt and change the future of this land. Who you are is not important. Who you are going to become is... Which is why I am here to prepare you.
Okay, just click there. Oh, that's very cool. The image here.
As you are about to look around, you suddenly feel a cold presence behind you. The hair on your skin rises. And
I've
there's a
already
lump
did that.
You turn around to come face to face with a ghost. You jump back in
actually,
fright,
that ghost doesn't
at
look very
first in
threatening.
shock. Then slowly your
Okay.
expression changes.
Who are you?
I am before, I am now, and I am after.
Who I am is not important.
Nice.
Who you are going to become is... Which is why I am here to prepare you.
Okay. Where am I?
You are in the cavern of Endari, high above the valley of the Yential.
Where you are is not important. Who you are going to become is... Which is why I am here to prepare you.
Okay, why can't I remember anything from my past?
You cannot remember your past, because in your current state, you are without past. Your memory loss is not important for now.
Who you are going to become is... Which is why I am here to prepare you.
Why are you speaking with a male and female voice, I ask?
We are not a singular entity.
We are many. I am a multitude. I have been here since the beginning of time.
Why we are is not important.
Who you are going to become is... Which is why I am here to prepare you.
Okay, so...
We are all here for different reasons. I am here to help you, and perhaps you are here to help me.
unimportant.
Why you're here is not important yet.
Okay.
Who you are going to become is... Which is why I am here to prepare you.
Let's get this done then.
The
Okay.
reason why you can understand me and speak with me is because I allow you to. But know that the world beyond is large and diverse. You will encounter different languages and cultures, far beyond what you can comprehend.
Why you're able to speak is not important. Who you are going to become is... Which is why I'm here to prepare you.
Alright. Tell
The
me.
apparition slowly disappears. Holding your breath, you wonder if something terrible is about to happen.
That's nice. We have a bit
You are
of
still in shock. You've
animation
just
here.
conversed with a ghost-like creature.
a loop.
Condition-wise, you feel weak and disorientated. Furthermore, the ghost did not exactly provide any helpful answers. Suddenly, there's a hiss in front of you. An ephemeral skeleton emerges from the
Tutorial.
ground. You panic should you run. Where can you escape to? There are no exits. However, even as you bring your fists up and dig your heels to defend yourself, the skeleton merely stands quietly, as if waiting for further instruction.
Tell
When you encounter a potential enemy or entity of interest, for example, the skeleton above, you'll first see the option to engage with the entity. In other words, depending on the circumstances behind the encounter, you will see an Engage Encounter button and an accompanying Encounter Info button.
Cannot wait to
Tapping on
get
the
into it.
Encounter Info button will reveal information about the pending encounter beforehand, depending
Right,
on how
that's
high your
fine.
attributes are. For example, Experience gives you general observation. Courage gives you melee info. Insight gives you spells and effects info. Finally, Finesse gives you ranged and evasive info.
Okay.
The higher your respective attributes, the more knowledge you'll gain about the encounter's history, dispositions, strengths, weaknesses, conditions for ranged and spell attacks. This will help you make certain
Let's
calls
engage the
if you
skeleton,
want to engage.
Okay.
It's now
punch
time to
headbutt.
learn how to fight, stranger.
The skeleton begins shuffling side to side, expecting you to make your first combat move. As it moves, bones within its ribcage and joints
I have 10
rattle
health.
in anticipation.
And yes, 5. You're just going to give him a good kick in the rib. Right, skeleton toward then scratch your face with bony fingers. Score 5 and the enemy 0. You hit the target and inflict 1 damage. An additional 1 damage. That's 2 damage. Yes, 3 left. Let's try the punch in the face there. You scored 7 and the enemy scored 7. It's a draw. The enemy reassess the situation. Not sure I should headbutt it. Let's try to scratch my face. I'm going to keep it at a distance. There you go. Almost down. Keep kicking it. There you go. Out. No. Inflict 1 damage upon me. Ugh. Falls apart.
Well done.
I heard some gold
You've
fall.
just defeated your first opponent in combat.
You can now pick up the skeleton's humorous bone, which you can use as a weapon, and the health potion, which you can drink to heal yourself. With that, you are ready to venture out and discover your destiny.
The owner of the skeleton
Time
must have
and
been very
again,
ugly.
I may check
My
in on
God,
you
what did he
to
look
make
like?
sure
Skin
you're
and
on the right path.
muscle.
Farewell for now, stranger. May the nameless gods of the Asari guide you.
Congratulations, you've completed what I guess is a tutorial of sorts. With the skeleton defeated, it has broken apart
Yeah.
and scattered some bones on the ground. You can now use the humorous bone as a weapon.
Yeah.
First, tap on the humorous bone loot item. Notice its details, such as it being a single slot inventory item with a hand 1 slot. What this means is that it will occupy your hand 1 or both hands, slot in your inventory. If you have a pre-existing hand 1 or both hands item in your inventory, looting this item will replace it permanently, so think carefully if such a situation
And 1 you
arises.
missed, bro. Yeah, okay.
To pick it up, tap on Add Item. Once added, It will occupy the hand one slot of your inventory.
Here we go.
Once the humorous
Right,
bone
bro.
is in your
And humorous
inventory, tap on it. You'll now see
Nope.
that you have
Here
the
it is.
option to discard it. Be warned, once you click or tap
rope.
on the discard button, the item will be permanently gone and irretrievable. Similarly, the skeleton has also dropped a health potion. This is an infinite slot item, which means it will not replace any existing item in your
Add,
inventory.
confirm add.
So there is no limit to the amount you
Potion
can
of
carry
health.
for it. As the health potion heals you for 10 health,
I
you
would
can
think-
bring it up in your inventory and tap on the drink now
Yeah,
button
consume
to
now.
consume it. This will heal your current health. It didn't take long before a part of the cliff wall slides to one side, revealing a tight and narrow crevice. Seeing that there's nothing left here in the cavern for you, you decide to slide your body sideways along the claustrophobic pathway. Initially, you fear the worst, that this is some trick and the walls might suddenly close in on you. Thankfully, that isn't the case. The crawl space ends on the side of a cliff where the pathway is split, one to your right and another to your left. In front of you, beyond the sheer drop
Right
to
or
your
left?
death,
I'm
the
gonna take
same
right.
castle you saw earlier beckons from the distance, as if not letting you. You choose to take the well-trodden path to the right. Soaked in sunlight, the cliffside path is broad enough for 2 to 3 men to walk abreast and covered in well-hewn steps, meaning someone or something has been maintaining it regularly. You also note that someone had tried to hide its entrance with some broken twigs and bushes. Curious indeed. The journey down
they
the
do that?
side of the cliff is uneventful until you reach the bottom. Here, the steps fade off into a deep, dark forest. The trees are dense and tall, letting in only trickles of sunlight through. Before you could look around, you hear strange noises coming from beyond the
Green
path in the
creature in
forest.
the distance.
There, you make out 2 green-skinned creatures in the distance shuffling about and gathering up firewood. They are dressed in leafy clothing
They don't
and
sound
carry a bag
happy-go-lucky.
filled with throwing stones. They make guttural noises to one another, but do not seem to have noticed you yet.
Wait for the critical hobble. Yeah, let's try that.
To stay silent, you need to make an action attempt to remain quiet. Otherwise, the slitherlings would hear you and attack.
Let's try that. You need to remain your finesse and armor plus environment modifier. Environment is Aperture normal, space outdoor with a 5. You only have 2 attempts. I'm gonna try. Despite the leafy ground,
You stay still, deciding to observe the slitherlings from afar instead. They grunt at one another, quite a lot, often snorting, and kicking leaves at each other for being too slow or lazy. Their antics amuse you, but you remind yourself
God,
that
goblins
these
are-
slitherlings can be aggressive if they want to.
yeah.
As they shuffle about, gathering up wood and leaves, you wonder if there are more of them in the forest. When one slitherling
2 against
gathered
1, bad
a
odds.
significant amount of twigs, branches, and leaves, it would trudge off the path towards an odd-looking tree before returning empty-handed, as if it has offloaded its pile there. Eventually, after some time, the slitherlings finish their tasks and begin hobbling off the path into the woods in the same direction where they offloaded their wood piles earlier. You approach the tree, wondering if this is some sort of sacred monument or an altar.
Again,
The
I'm
slitherlings
impressed
are
by the
obsessed
very
with
nice
it.
graphic here.
The tree
Yeah.
creaks under its own weight, its sparse leaves bent stubbornly against the breeze to stay alive. You wonder if you should stick around any longer when something catches your eye.
What is it?
At the base of the tree trunk, just under its humongous shady bough, is a hole the size and height of a slitherling. What really gets you, though, is the reeking smell wafting through it. A strong, pungent stink, like that of an ancient sewer, causes you to retch. Suddenly, the thought of you crawling into that hole and into that stink doesn't sound that appealing at all.
Look at environmental. I don't know. I don't want to. But right now I'm just trying to get civilization. So there you go. I'm gonna take a dice. Well, there you go. Roll a dice. So let's say D4. A D6. 1, 2, 3, crawl into the hole, okay? I will crawl into the hole. Crawl into the hole.
Despite your reservations and instincts not to do it, you push yourself into the hole, securing your equipment while stretching your arms through and then wriggling your body in. You gag profusely as the smell assails your senses. You instinctively throw up as the stink overpowers your senses like a smelly, unwashed cloak. But wiping your mouth, you force yourself not to think about it and continue. Digging your fingers into the soil, you stabilize yourself to make sure you do not slide down the tunnel. The crawl space itself is a short, gradually descending tunnel with muddy walls, slime, and exposed root. There is an iridescent glow coming off the roots for lighting, which you gather are part of the tree above. At the bottom of the dead-end tunnel wall is an engraving of a slithering face, made entirely out of wood and clay. It has its mouth open widely, and you can see pieces of wood, leaves, and twigs caught around its teeth. Presumably, the slitherlings have been tossing their woodpile down the tunnel in through this wall face. But where or what they are feeding, you cannot tell from where you are.
I'm getting a bad feeling about this place. I mean, I'm level 1. I'm actually level 0.5. And I only have my little white robe and bone to fight, so I'm gonna crawl out.
You push yourself
Yeah.
out of the slithering hole, retching from the smell covered in mud, slime, and whatever foulness it hides. Laying on the ground to catch your breath,
That's
you
probably the
peer
toilet for
out
those
towards the
slithering.
forest path.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, there are no longer any traces of the slitherlings. You see,
Go.
the path meanders through the forest on what is mostly even ground and flat grass. Occasionally, it crests over a small ridge, your trudge made easier thanks to blocks of chopped wood to mark the trail. Sometimes you notice half-hanging vines and ropes that you believe may have once been swing bridges. Could the slitherlings be the ones who were maintaining these forests?
No.
Anyway, after about an hour of walking, your feet feel sore, and you wonder if you should stop and rest.
Yeah, of course. Continue. This place kind of looks nice, so yep. Continue and see what's beyond the forest ridge. Yeah, my feet are sore, so
You decide to sit a while and rest. Soon, the tension in your body disappears. Your muscles relax, and you fall into a deep sleep. But, as the gods would have it, this is not just any sleep.
tell me.
As you close your eyes and your mind drifts into a restful state, you dream. But soon, like a fog cloud in your mind, you find yourself adrift, transported, as if you're being pulled
Again.
into an entirely different world. Quickly now,
Am
what
I
do
in
you
Freddy
do?
Krueger's world, where whenever I dream, I just get transported to a nightmare? So, well, continue dreaming.
As the fog clears, you find yourself inside a gladiatorial ring of a large arena. Tiers and tiers of cheering spectators. Men, women, creatures you've never seen before have gathered in the thousands to watch. As for you,
Health
you
50.
realize you're no
Finesse.
longer wearing
Courage 5. Oh, this is my future,
Instead,
crap.
you're dressed in full, resplendent armor, complete with a helmet, breastplate, gauntlets with a built-in firing mechanism.
So, Fireball has been
and
added to your inventory,
weapon.
healing attunement.
What on
for
earth is
elemental.
this dream
Longbow,
about?
so I'm level 20 now.
You suddenly
I'm
hear
impressing the
yourself
crowd
utter.
with my
Unfortunately for
my
you,
heroics.
you have no time to ponder or inspect what you have.
Broadsword,
opposite end
Gauntlet
of
of
the
Santo,
arena is your would-be
Breastplate, Helm of
opponent,
Courage.
who has been quietly studying and watching you all this while.
Who are you?
I see. Does it matter?
Yes.
This isn't the first time we've met, you and I. Is this how you greet the Dream Eater? Which begs the question, should I still address you as stranger, huh?
Dream, so what do you want from me?
Now that is the question, isn't it? Why are we here? Why am I haunting your dreams? Who am I? Who are you? In time, you will realize that these questions, they matter not. What matters now, at least, is that one of us must stay awake, and the other must die. Unsheathe your weapon now, stranger. Fight me.
Yeah, sure.
Why, don't you remember? Nothing at all? Did you lose all of your memories, that you cannot even remember who you are?
I had enough fight him.
Armed to the teeth, wearing obsidian black armor, and having a horned head made entirely out of gaseous green poison, this Dream Eater unfurls his trident and
Can I see what you look like?
Quickly now, defend yourself.
Parry and kick. No. Overhead chop, drink a potion, cast a spell. I do have some spells. Fireball. I'm gonna take boost inside. Attunement core, fireball, healing, remove potion. Fireball. Fireball spell, infinite slot 5, unique minimum of 1 courage, maximum of inside of 3. Minimum inside of 3, okay, so I can't cast it. Previous. Let's say overhead chop. 5 points of damage. As your mind 0, you take 5 damage. Headbutt the enemy when he pins you down. Parry and kick. The effect inflict 1 damage. Nature of the effects. Broadsword, yeah. You got me again. So he's down 45, I'm down 38. So I'm not up to a potion. The potion gets give me so slash with broadsword again. 1 and inflict 4 damage. Parry and kick, headbutt when the enemy pins you down. Try that.
Dodge this.
Drink. Potion of frailty reversal. It's Kudo Galaqua of insight. Potion of healing, man. Frailty reversal. Try that. Frailty affliction. No. Yeah, consume now.
Dodge this.
Parry, headbutt, bring a potion, slash.
By the will of
That's very bad. I mean, overhead chop. At this point.
Oh gosh, Kush.
Fire darts from your gauntlet. Try that. He's back at 43, so...
There are 8 different types of attunements: elemental, core, rebirth, mirror, sand, ritual, dream, and time. As you progress, you will soon find out what each of them mean. In summary, attunements represent how a wizard's feelings, thoughts, actions, and predicament are tied to the area he or she is in. If a wizard is feeling tired in a forest, for example, the attunement in the area may either be core or elemental, or both. Core, because it reflects the wizard's body, mind, or spirit, and elemental, because earthly energies abound in the area. Two wizards standing in the same area may not necessarily share the same attunement, but it doesn't hurt if they do, as the spells they can cast together can be quite powerful. Anyway, attunements allow you to cast spells of the same attunements without insight restrictions. For example, if you have a fireball spell, you need a minimum courage of 1, insight of 3, and finesse of 1 to cast it. Alternatively, if the attunement in the area is elemental, you can cast the spell without the restriction. If the current area attunement isn't elemental, you can then change it by casting an attunement elemental spell. To do so, you need to select the attunement elemental spell and see the conditions to cast it. The attunement spell itself requires either a minimum insight of 5 or space, outdoor or otherworldly. If any of these conditions are met, you can then cast attunement elemental. If you succeed, the magic condition in the area should change to elemental, paving the way for you to cast any elemental spells without restriction. Just be careful. Some enemies, especially wizards, and the ones with magical items, can change magic attunements to benefit their spellcasting chances as well.
Okay.
In combat, if you want to drink
Ranged
a potion,
weapon.
cast a spell, fire a ranged weapon, throw a ranged weapon, or make a special
And just the
move,
death, I'm gonna
you'll
draw the
need
book. If it fails to reach you, inflict 1 damage on the enemy. 3 meters. My god. At this point, I think I'm pretty screwed, so fire darts from you, content. He's back at 50. I did more damage with the melee weapon. Yeah.
Weakling.
It's just stronger than you. So, fire dart from the gun, headbutt. Parry and kick.
Dodge this.
Cast this stuff. There you go. Attunement rebirth. Of rebirth. I'm not familiar with those attunement things right now, so previous. Okay. Okay. Casting a spell, attunement core. Boost inside, fireball, healing. Yeah, okay. Cast spell, yep.
Useless magic.
The spell failed and the energy backfires. 2 at you. At this point, well, I'm in the dream, so what's the point of escaping? But try that.
I summon thee.
Down. Scored. Makes it. I'm at negative health.
We will meet again. We will
Yeah,
Your
yeah.
mind reels, grasping
Dead.
for a single thought or a recent memory in the blackness of time and space. Thankfully, you wake up, your body covered in cold sweat, gasping for air. You think you'd died and succumbed to the eternal void?
Certainly felt
Fortunately, you're still alive. Was it just a dream? Or was that real?
Yep.
You touch your chest, arms, wondering if that battle hurt you at all.
So there's a safe
And
feature
those
here.
items,
Bookmark
the
overwrite
spells, armor,
previous
they
bookmark.
felt so real.
I'll just wake up and
Furthermore, who was that creature? He called himself the Dream Eater. Anyway, it is time to move on.
Yep.
Lingering is not going to help.
I need to go
Depending on
down
how
and
you
take a
rested
beer at the end.
and fared in the dream, your health would have increased. As you check your belongings and decide what to do next, the questions remain: did your nightmare end? Or has it just begun? Is it even safe to sleep at all? It is best you brush aside that odd dream and focus on the path ahead.
Okay.
The faster you get out of the woods, the better.
Yep.
As you crest over a hill along the forest path, you stop in your tracks. The dirt path ahead has
Again,
been
I like
split
very much
apart
those,
by a deep ravine, while the distance
dynamic
to the other
image here.
side is nearly 8 yards. You still need a good running jump to cross. Looking down, you cannot see the bottom of the ravine, which means certain death should you fall through. You have two options. Turn back to the cavern path and take the steeper route instead, or make a running jump across.
I can't bookmark right now, right? No. So, courage is 1, kick and melee, kick, armor. The difficulty is 9 on a D10, so you have 1 attempt. Well, return the steeper route, yep.
Taking the steep route is not easy as you slide and climb down the side of the incline, using the cliff face to support yourself. As your legs slip and slide down the rocky and dusty ground, you reach out with your hands to grab whatever that's available, to hang on. Thankfully, there are some handholds and footholds hidden along the cliff face to assist you, especially during moments when the ground is too steep or it breaks off into a sheer drop. As you navigate your way farther downwards, you see what looks like a small cave carved into the side of the cliff. You peer towards it to see if there's anything near its entrance. It looks empty from where you are. It is, however, too small to fit you, so you'll need to crawl on all fours if you want to look at what's in it. Then your ears perk up. You hear the distant roar of waterfalls, which means there could be a river nearby and a settlement.
Alright, so I'm gonna save here. Bookmark, yes. Note that you only have 1 save slot. Are you really sure? Yes, of course. Okay, so I guess I'm gonna quit here. So that was a very good play. I'm very much interested to see what's gonna happen next. So stay tuned for my review. Here's my first impression of the Cursed Stranger of Morlendar from Bookoora.com, a digital game book that shines for fantasy fans. I'm scoring it the 8 out of 10, and here's why. The story is phenomenal, 9 out of 10. You're a cursed stranger wandering Morlendar's vivid wilds with rich descriptive text that hooks you like a classic choose your path book. Bookoора's route as a book company delivers. Powered by ChatGPT's slick backend logic, the AI narration using Jenny Lovo and 11 Lab is top-notch, with varied voices boosting the mood. Sounds get an 8 out of 10 with environmental effects and subtle soundtrack, though I have only heard 1 track so far. Gameplay blends choices, combat, and stats like melee and mind, with D10 roll modifier by environment factor like visibility. It's solid with a tutorial to ease you in, but the magic fish system felt a bit arcane for me. I'm not used to, let's say, attunement. I am a Pathfinder player on Fridays, and UI UX is a bit clunky with tiny 45 by 45 pixel icon for inventory with no labels, or toggling text and image. It can work. I would like to see the image with the text like this. There you go. Still, if you love game books, it's engaging. Replayability is high with branching paths and hefty story, though one save slot limit flexibility. I would want several game slots. I'm a RPG fan. This AI-driven gem with stable diffusion animated image deserves a gamebook fan love. If you enjoy text adventure, don't hesitate to try the games on Bookoora.com. I'm also very much interested in Neurotide that will come out later in 2025. It looked like they went out their way on the graphics again. So what's your favorite gamebook twist? Thanks to Bookoora.com's team for the Cursed Stranger of Morlendar. Try Bookoora's gamebook and submit your AI indie games to ceruleanspirit.contact@gmail.com. Subscribe, follow at ceruleanspirit1 on X. Join r/AI gamedev. What's your Morlendar spat? See you next time. Thank you.